Hi everyone, I wanted to tell you about an important person in the children's book world, and his name is Leonard Marcus. I met him last year at an exhibit for Golden Books, and he's really an interesting person, and he's one of the top of the field of children's literature. He's a critic. He has written for the Parenting magazine for 21 years. He's one of the reviewers for the New York Times Book Review. He also has been a judge for the New York Times Best Illustrated Books of the Year Award. He's been a judge for the National Book Awards, and he's on many committees for book organizations and also for public libraries and museums. As far as museum exhibits, he's a curator at the Eric Carle Museum of Picture Book Art. He's also a curator for exhibits that go through the New York Public Library, and he's been a consultant on many different councils internationally and in America. So as you can see from his bio, he is very renowned in the world of children's literature, and he's got really interesting insights. He does have a few books out there I wanted to recommend. If you are a fan of modern fantasy, he's written this book, which is compiled by many different fantasy authors and some of their conversations about being writers of fantasy. There's also this biography about Madeleine L'Engle. I can never say her name right, but this is a book about her. Her most famous book was A Wrinkle in Time, but she is one of the most popular modern fantasy authors in the 21st century. This is a great book that he wrote called Side by Side, which talks about picture book authors and illustrators who work very closely through the years, and some of the commentary that they have about each other's work, the illustrator's work and the author's work. Some of them are married too, so it's kind of interesting. This is the same book but a different cover. So Jean Sheska works often with Lane Smith and Molly Leach, and so it's just some interviews he did with those famous picture book author teams. Here's another book where he's talked to a variety of authors and shared some of their thoughts. So he seems to know everyone. So this is a really fun book. Funny Business, Conversations with Writers of Comedy. And his latest book, which I've already recommended and I really like, is The History of the Golden Books. So he is known as a critic and also a children's book historian. And so if you ever hear the name Leonard Marcus, or if you see his name at the beginning of books, he usually is in the beginning of a book where some critic will give a review really quick. His name usually pops up in the bestseller lists. Anyway, keep your eye on him. He's a very interesting person.